So we're headed towards Beard's Hollow. And then according to the text from Jesse, we're supposed to find the bronze sculpture of a California condor. And that's where the trail starts. But first... So we're at our church, which is not where we're going. We have bikes. We're going to ride our bikes on the Discovery. Is it Discover or Discovery?
It's the Discovery Trail, yeah.
Okay, on the Discovery Trail? Maybe it's the Discovery Trail. We'll find out if we find it. But it goes from Ilwaco, a little fishing town on the coast, up to Long Beach. Then we're gonna eat lunch, which should be a great day. So you guys should come with us. We're not very good pirates. We were just in Ilwaco. We didn't see a big condor statue, so we did this. If there is a trail that goes away from Long Beach toward Ilwaco, I think we'll have to ride that direction first to see if we can find that condor statue. Not a real condor. I don't want to mess with no birds, especially big birds. I'm afraid of big bird.
I asked Wayne what a condor it looks like, and he described it as it's a big bird. I was like, oh yeah, big bird. I know what we're looking for now.
Yeah, but not like the big bird, but a big bird. Very different. So we stopped in Seaview, where the map took us to, which on maps looks like it's one of the ends of the trail. It's not. It's like a third of the way up. So we're going back into Ilwaco to look for this condor statue. Yep. Whoa, I'm okay. I know how to do this. Okay. So we're back in Ilwaco. We found a parking lot. We're going to where Jesse thinks he saw the bronze sculpture of the California condor. So we found the statue of the California condor. It's even got a map for us, so we'll look at the map and then I guess we'll hit the trail. Discovery Trail. I hope to discover, Lewis and Clark already discovered most of it.
Right.
So really I'm just hoping to enjoy their discoveries and then lunch and conversation. And maybe a go-kart. But apparently it starts with quite the uphill, so I'm going to tie my rope to Jesse's bike and let him pull me up this thing. We made it up the hill. And I feel like they should call this the start of the trail. There's an archway, there's a map, it's labeled, Dear State of Washington, why does the Discovery Trail start at the wharf in Ilwaco just to right through town to get to the actual trail? So we're taking a water break. We're over 5 miles in of the 8.5, 9 mile trail. So far it's very lovely once you get past the hills and stuff at the start. But it's paved. You can hear the ocean. I told Jesse I don't want to be a complainer, but I feel like they could have moved the trail 60 feet west so we could actually see the ocean more. But you know what?
We're not complainers.
We're not complainers. We're just people who complain sometimes. Out enjoying nature's beautiful day.
Right. It's not our identity.
It's some number of degrees. My guess is 64.5 degrees. Sunnyish.
63.
63 degrees. Man, he's got the temperature on his watch. What a time to be alive. So Jesse and I are here. We're at Happy Hungry Harbor Hippopotamus Restaurant. Two of those words are actually true. But on the way here, we started talking a little about kind of Dunes Bible Camp, which is where I really felt a call to vocational ministry and where that started. So we decided we would share our calls to ministry. And so mine will be over on Jesse's channel. You can check that out. I'll leave a link in the description. But Jesse, why don't you tell me about your call to ministry?
Yeah, definitely. So I, in high school, kind of learned, well, I grew up in a Christian family, so I gave my life to Christ at a young age. But in high school is when I really learned what it was like to know Jesus, to follow him. And I think learned that he's gracious and compassionate, because as a kid, I really wrestled with perfectionism and wondering if I was pleasing God. But anyway, so through high school there, as God kind of got a hold of my heart, I started to feel like there was nothing more worthwhile than serving Him, and was kind of sensing a call to ministry. But I was concerned that I maybe wanted to be in ministry myself, and that wasn't something that He wanted. And I mean like career ministry, like to be paid to be a pastor or something. And especially as a musician, I kind of wanted to do music ministry of some kind. Right. So I was concerned that I was maybe just in love with the stage, or in love with doing music, and not really following what God wanted. And so I was at Life Conference, which is a Christian Missionary Alliance youth conference, national youth conference. Yeah, it was in Phoenix, Arizona, and it was very hot. It's cold indoors down there. But they had kind of like an altar call for students who were feeling called into ministry. And well, I should back up and say at the beginning of that week during worship, I was just in worship, kind of heard this voice in my mind, I guess, say like, I love you and I want you. And I thought, oh, that's cool. Like, I'll write that down in my journal. And so I did that. And it was just like, oh, that's just like something nice that I heard from God, I believe. And anyway, so later on in the week, they had this altar call for students called into ministry. And I was up there just wrestling, like, ooh, I really want to be in ministry, but I'm embarrassed about altar calls. I don't want to go forward. And I also don't know, do I just want to be in career ministry, or is God calling me? And I was just really going back and forth. And that popped in my head, but I heard earlier that week, I love you and I want you. And I just felt like, okay, I think that I had this sense that was something God was speaking to me. And so I swallowed my pride and went down for the altar call, and I always kind of consider that my call into ministry. So yeah, that's sort of my story, and it's been a long journey. It took, I wasn't really sure how to get there or what that would look like. For a while, I wasn't sure if I was going to be a youth pastor or not in ministry at all. But God leads and guides. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Like I said, I shared my story on his channel, so you can go check that out. We're waiting for our lunch. So we just go-karted way more fun than I remember. Like, I remember it being fun, but I haven't done it in so long. But I was kind of worried, sometimes when you do something when you're like 15, and then again when you're 40, it's not as fun. But go-karts, still a good time. It was a good race. I think I won, but there are no winners or losers, but I totally won. So now, we had our burgers, those were great. We're gonna ride back down the Discovery Trail, which for most of it is great. You can see the ocean, and then you can't, and then towards the end there's some hills that we rode down on the way here, so that'll be a bummer. But I think our plan is to find ice cream somewhere near the end, so that's always something to look forward to. It wasn't any fun, was it? Okay. So on the way back, we're over halfway back. We stopped because we're close to this beautiful rock outcropping formation. This might be the Bearded Hollow. I don't know what a hollow is. We looked it up.
It's on the other side, I think.
Bearded Hollow is on the other side. Jesse's just throwing stuff in the sand.
Oh man.
So we're gonna fly the drones and then finish heading back, and ice cream. I'm so excited about ice cream. Go ahead and leave a comment right now. Let me know what flavor ice cream you think I'm gonna get. So we made it to the end of the trail where the ice cream is, and the ice cream place is closed. We might find somewhere else to eat ice cream. I sure hope we do. Alright, we found Sweeters. It was open. I went with salted, oh no I didn't, I went with caramel caribou, which is caramel and chocolate and vanilla ice cream. Quite delicious. Here on the video, we had a blast. Talk about ministry, calling, biking. Hope you have a great week, and we'll see you later. Don't forget the go-karts. They're not bumper cars. Specifically not bumper cars. We'll see you later, alligator.